Hey guys, how's it going? I'm Tom from PhoneUplink.com and Gaming Entertainers, and in this video I'll be reviewing the HTC Inspire 4G for AT&T. This phone comes in at $99 on a 2-year contract, and honestly, it's a steal. So let's start off with the hardware. So the HTC Inspire 4G features a 4.3-inch WVGA Super LCD display coming in at 800 by 480 pixels. It also has a 1 GHz Qualcomm Snapdragon processor with 768 megabytes of RAM, 4 gigs of internal storage, which is translates to about 1.5 gigs of actual usable storage. Everything else is, the OS and everything on their software. It also comes with a 1230 milliamp battery, Android 2.2 with HTC Sense, and an 8 megapixel camera on the back with flash. So that's about it for the hardware. First, I want to talk about the actual software. So, with the HTC Inspire 4G, you get Android 2.2 with HTC Sense. Now, a lot of you are probably quite familiar with HTC Sense. It can be found on the Evo 4G and a lot of HTC's other Android smartphones. And honestly, I think it's pretty awesome. So, with it, you get this, obviously, it's not stock. You get this nav bar at the bottom. Also, you get this whole different design overlay on Android. And a really cool thing about HTC Sense is they've added personalization options for it. So when you're on the home, you can click these personalize button, and you get some options including scenes, wallpapers, and skins. And what scenes are, pretty much you can select a different scene. So like it's a different design each time. So let's say this one looks kind of cool. They're pretty much like preset widget setups and backgrounds and everything. So if you don't want to have to take the time to do it yourself, here we are. Here's a different one. And the only complaint I have about this is that it removes all of my widgets that I set up and shortcuts. So it just replaces them with defaults. But at the same time, it's kind of cool because it saves all my apps that I put onto the home screens there. So when I go back, give it a second. It actually does take a little while to switch the wallpaper, but there it is. And see, all my apps are back. So basically, you can have it set different kinds of scenes for whatever mood you're in, and you can put different widgets. So that's pretty cool. You can also, let me go back, change the wallpaper, and you can also change the skin. So let's go here. We'll change that, and it's just changing it. And there you go. So we got this cool new one. I personally don't really like that. I'll go back. And so that's pretty interesting. HTC has added very cool personalization options to make it look pretty cool. I'm actually going to go back though and change that. I don't really like that personally. Where's mine? Don't know where mine went. I'll have to go back and change the skin later. But that's pretty awesome. Other than that, you've got everything you'd expect. You've got your movable widgets, and with HTC Sense, they make it very easy to move your widgets around. So let's say I don't want this favorites contacts thing here. You hold down on it, and you can drag it where you want. So I can drag it to a different home page. I can put it right there, and it's got little green markers to indicate where you can put it. Or I can completely remove it by dragging it down here into the red, and now it's completely gone. And you're back to normal. So that's a cool way to add widgets. HTC gives you a lot of options for widgets. We'll go in here, and then you select here, and now you've got a lot of different widget options. I can add FM radio, Facebook, widget, FriendStream, Google search, latitude, all kinds of things like this. So HTC has made personalization options very easy to work with in here, and here's your app drawer. So I think they've made it it's pretty nice. So far, they've made it really good. I personally thought that I wouldn't like an overlay from, a company. I thought I'd like stock Android. But to be honest, I like this overlay quite a lot. HTC did a great job with their personalization and overlay options. I'm actually going to switch to a different one because that's really kind of bothering me. So we'll switch back to that. And I have to change my themes later. So let's, talk about speed. This does feature a 1 GHz Qualcomm Snapdragon processor, which makes it quite snappy actually. We'll go into the browser, And actually, to talk about one more thing, you've got your slide out here, and they make it very easy to multitask. As you can see, I can switch through apps that I've had open recently, and I can switch to Twitter. So let's say I want to go to Twitter, and as you can see, that was really fast. So HTC has optimized it with the processor, and it's quite fast. So I think will like it quite a lot. It definitely also helps a lot having this navigation bar up here, so I can switch through things. So let's talk about the keyboard now, which is also an HTC keyboard, which I actually like quite a lot also. So I'll go out of this, drop out, and we'll completely erase this. Go back. Alright, so let's type in, bring it closer, let's do twitter.com. Twitter.com, go. As you can see, it's bringing up Twitter. I am on Wi-Fi, so we'll talk about HSPA Plus in a little while. Let me do like a quick Google search. How good is the HTC Inspire? Well, so that's something I still have to get used to. I've only been using it for a few days. But yeah, also a weird thing, well, it doesn't show up here, but in some Twitter apps, there is no option for here. You have to close the keyboard and click submit on Twitter, things like that. Not a big deal, but that's kind of weird. So definitely, this is a great keyboard. It's got it's very spacious. The buttons are great size. But you can also go into the marketplace and get a different keyboard if you'd like one. But definitely, great keyboard. HTC did a great job on that. So we'll back out of that. Let's talk about pinching and zooming in the browser. So we'll go to PhoneUplink. We'll bring PhoneUplink up. PhoneUplink.com. So we'll let it load. This may be a bad example. Oh, nope, it actually did load into this version. Usually it loads into the mobile version. I can't get out of it. So let's go into this article. Load it up. So here we are. And now, as you can see, pinching and zooming, very quick. Also, it does fix it. It does resize the text for you, which is very convenient. That's pretty nice. But as you can see, pinching and zooming is quite fast. So, definitely the 1 GHz Qualcomm Snapdragon processor is very beneficial to the hardware. It's very nice, and it's pretty fast, so I think you're going to be quite happy with that. Everything works fine. I believe, we'll just back out of this. So, that's pretty good. I like that quite a lot. That works very well. And everything overall, and the whole hardware is pretty fast. I'm quite happy with it. I haven't seen any slowdown. I've seen one little bug, but that hasn't been a huge deal. So, some people have complained the HTC Sense makes it slower, and I actually have not seen that the OS or anything is slowed down from HTC Sense. It works really well, and I like it quite a lot. One last thing about HTC Sense is they do preload things like AT&T Family Map. These are AT&T preloaded things, but HTC does preload some things like the Blockbuster app. Go down here, YP Mobile. And the unfortunate thing is you cannot delete these apps like YP Mobile. You can add them, but you can't delete them. We'll go back. As you can see, you cannot delete those. That's a little annoying. Not a huge deal though. It's not really, huge bother. So, other than that, the whole OS, whole Android 2.2 and HTC Sense is a really good experience. I've been super duper happy with it. So I don't think you'll be quite disappointed with it at all. It's really nice and really snappy. So let's talk about the camera. The camera, I also was somewhat impressed. Again, not amazing, not gonna lie. Nothing has really been able to beat the iPhone 4's camera. This thing is just a beast, but the camera is still decent. I have tested out and taken some pictures. Open this up, and I don't know how good of an example this is going to be. If I can, yeah, that's one also weird thing is the lens does when it's macroing or focusing and zooming, you do hear it. It does make a lot of noise, but you know, that's alright. We'll go in. Here's a picture I did take. Look at that. Don't know how well that's going to show up on here, but it actually was a pretty good picture. I was pretty happy with it. It's still not as good as the camera on the iPhone 4, which I was a little disappointed because this is 8 megapixels compared to 5 on the iPhone 4, but it's definitely going to be good for your quick point-and-shoot pictures. You'll be quite happy with it. Also, a thing to note is the phone does not have a front-facing camera. Like I said at the beginning, that's not a front-facing camera at the front. That is a light sensor, so that you can adjust the screen if you'd like that, the brightness, if you set it to auto-adjust. So there is no front-facing camera. Again, not a huge deal, 99 bucks. I don't use it personally, ever the front-facing camera that often. So again, not a huge deal. Camera on the back is pretty good. If I did have one complaint about it, is obviously that it's raised. So when this is on a desk, it's kind of weird. Wobbles around quite a bit because of this, of the camera. So that's not a big deal. HD video recording is also quite good. I haven't used it a whole lot in depth, and I don't think you'll get to see a big deal through the actual, phone or through the screen on YouTube, because it compresses the video. So, yeah. So, that's pretty good. Hardware overall is very solid. I'm super happy with what HTC has done with this phone. It's really nice. Got a very professional, solid build. The only problem at the top I've noticed is this button and the volume button alike are both a little weird because they're kind of recessed. Like right here, the volume up and down button could be better if it was a little more, how do I explain it? If it was a little out a little more, not as recessed as it is now, it'd be easier to find. For example, when I've been listening to music and I had it in my pocket, sometimes I'd struggle to find this button. Also, the home button, or the power button, is a little hard to find when you're using the phone. I wish it would have been a little more out as well. But those are, not huge problems, but they could be fixed. But definitely, again, not things that are going to make you want to avoid this phone. So, I think I covered everything pretty well. Call quality is very good. We'll do the HSP Plus, and I'll show you that really quickly. So now I'm going to show you a speed test, pretty much, of HSP Plus on AT&T. So I'm not going to use the speed test app because, as far as I know, the company that makes it hasn't optimized the actual app for HSPA Plus yet, so the results have been kind of wacky. But I'll just show you actual going on the internet. I'll try out a website. And I don't have full bars where I am right now, but it is still quite fast. Zoom in on that. So let's just reload the website. There we go. Give it some time. And as you can see, it just loaded a full website quite fast. So that's very good. HSPA Plus has been pretty good in my area. Some places it's not amazing, but overall I've been quite happy with it. I don't get full 4G here, but, Let's try and do another website. I don't know, I'm not sure. Many websites now have mobile versions, so probably going to get stuck on a mobile version, yeah. So I'll try and go down to the bottom, see if I can get to the desktop version. Again, pinching and zooming, scrolling is all very fast. Let's try that again. Well, there we go. And this is all over about 3 bars of HSPA Plus. Website's almost fully loaded. Got your ads on the side loaded. And there you go. We are now on CNN's website. Again, it wasn't super quick, fast, but that was a bad example. But I do actually a lot of the time when I have full bars on HSPA Plus. it is really fast. So it's definitely a lot better than 3G. So definitely good. Speeds there are very nice. And yeah, HSPO Plus, very good. Everything about it. I appreciate it quite a lot sometimes. I have been able to load. Actually, when I'm on full bars in HSPO Plus, I've been able to load full HD video, like on YouTube, through the browser before. So it's very surprising how fast it is. It's really nice. If you're in the market for a new Android handset on AT&T, I definitely think this is the way to go. Like I said, only $99 on a 2-year contract with a data plan. It's a very good choice, and I think you're going to be very surprised and very happy with the HTC Inspire 4G.